You let people know that you restore old tools and the universe provides. My friend Linda gave me these and they were in a classic barn find condition. Should I have left them in that state? The patina was pretty cool. I did think about it and I decided to do a basic preservation job. I replaced this wedge and it was really easy, and I'll show you how to match the colour of the antique wood. This one just needed a clean, but interestingly it's got a skew blade. This wedge has a bad crack and I'll fix that later on. This wedge was pretty jammed and in the end I had to do something pretty drastic to get it out. The broken one come out easy. No, I'm not going to do an Adam Savage and stab myself. Do you remember Mythbusters? Adam Savage from that show now has a YouTube channel, and the other day he restored a plane. He did an okay job considering it was a family heirloom. The poor bugger rushed it and stabbed himself in the hand with a screwdriver. On camera. That is really old. If I pulled that wedge, it would have ended up broken like the other one. I shuck these in the electrolysis bath overnight. After the process, there's a black residue on the metal. You just rub that off and that's the look I'm going for. This part I had to clean up with a file, and I should have given it a acid treatment and that would have left it like a dull grey, but instead I gave it a bluing treatment, made it black. Probably a mistake. The object isn't to get this plane in working condition, but I'm going to repair a couple of the cracks so that I can test my blade sharpener. I made it work. Owen gave me this. I've tested it. Works great sharpening chisels. Thanks, mate. But I still need to flatten the back by hand. The surface was pretty rough from the rust. I showed 2 passes, but actually I spent 15 minutes working it. I think this tool was just meant for touch-ups. We'll do a comparison test between this and a blade sharpened with the traditional stone method at the end. I haven't polished it, but I can tell you now, it's pretty sharp. This crack is actually not a problem. A bit later on, I think you can catch a glimpse of 2 repair dowels. At this stage I missed that, so I decided to fill it. And at the same time glue up this massive crack in the side. To smooth that crack flush and make it look even, cutting into the surface is unavoidable. Later on, I restore the patina. The object is just to get the sole flat enough to test the blade. I don't want to make it look new. This is a cypress pine offcut that is luckily exactly the right thickness. I reckon if you're going to replace a part on an antique tool, it has to look antique too. I'll make it look original. Removing the modern saw marks. I also clean the edges with sandpaper after this. I made this stain in a video a couple of months ago. It's called iron acetate, and basically it's just steel wool in vinegar. My next trick is to rub in boiled linseed oil using steel wool. This evens out the patina. The stain is now dried. I'm using the same dirty oil from rubbing the planes to get extra colour. Just seal it with a bit of shellac. And I'm sloshing it on. It's hard to spot the new wedge, but you still can, so next time I'll distress it more. And now the test. And this is the worst possible piece of wood to pick for a test. Halfway down, there's a knot, and the grain reverses. Even my good Stanley struggled with it. So I finally give it a fair test, and it's still pretty ordinary. You can just tell it needs to be sharper. At least it leaves a nice smooth finish. This is a plane that I restored in a previous video, but that time I did a full sharpen with the stones. Now the shavings are perfect. I didn't notice these nasty sanding marks until right at the end. Think about using BLO and shellac on your tool restores. It took me literally 10 minutes to sand and refinish this. Oh, and there are those dowels from the previous repair job. And there's that reproduction wedge that I made. Matches pretty good. I'm glad this wedge wasn't broken because the blade and the wedge are skewed. If you want this, drop me a line and I'll get it to you. I reckon it could be turned into a great retirement award for someone. If you like plane restoration videos, check out the playlist below, heaps more details, or check out the video behind me. It's a video that YouTube recommends for you.